Join us October 1st when we take you into midnight with a deep dive broadcast, then tune in for a 1 hour live Q&A. Is this going to be like when Alpha comes out? Have they announced when Alpha's coming out? Because I imagine like them announcing a deep dive broadcast is kind of, oh, they did. It's October 2nd, the day after. Oh, cool. W. Okay, so this like pretty much confirms my theory. My theory for a while has been expansion February, and if they were going to do that, then they were going to have to release Alpha like really soon. But even then, that's not really... Alpha date and the expansion date is not always related because they've done Alpha differently. So like Alpha in previous expansions, sometimes you get Alpha and you have like one zone and you have like 2 dungeons and you have some shit like that. And then in the War Within, the Alpha that we got was like a month later than we would normally get it, but it was much more complete and you could basically access the entire expansion right away, which was very different and a very different timeline. And I know they released a roadmap for this, and it seems like this is going to be kind of like old alphas. Yeah, this is what an alpha used to look like for me. Like, this is not what the War Within alpha looked like at all. So, like, maybe this is like a little earlier alpha. Okay, so October 1st. Oh, dude, my dad's going to be in town. I'll still be able to stream it, though. Join us for Midnight Q&A October 1st. I'm going to have to call him later. Immediately following the Midnight Deep Dive broadcast, join us for live Midnight Q&A with this bunch of people. Head over to the WoW forum to submit your questions for Q&A. Cool. Midnight Alpha test will begin on the day after, apparently. World of Warcraft Midnight Alpha will begin on October 2nd. Over the course of that test, we'll be inviting community veterans, press, fan sites, and friends. Cool. All right, so let's read this. So first phase, which we assume will be a week. You get to see I mean, basically the entire first week is just going to be people playing Devour, right? Like, if you guys, the viewer, if you tune into twitch.tv in the WoW section and people are playing the Midnight Alpha, every single person is going to be on this spec. At least for the first few days, which is cool. That shows hype. Story and quests we can ignore. Housing. I think we're going to... Oh, I guess you're going to get to try housing in Alpha before it comes to live? Actually, yeah, maybe... That might not be true. I bet a lot of people who get Alpha might just be house mains. Okay, 2 dungeons, couple delves. All that stuff doesn't matter. And then the next couple weeks, it's just, we're letting you level to 88, but we want you to do this zone. We want you to do this zone. Now, they're probably not going to have any raids until beta, so. Oh, yeah, I guess in Phase 4, you can play with your Apex talents. Okay, so nothing really new there. Just got it. Players selected will receive an email. I'm sure those haven't gone out yet. Actually, check. Check. Nope. Okay, I think we're back. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, the encounter warnings thing. Yeah, I mean, nothing really to see there. And then someone said there was like a little quick YouTube video or something from Ion. Midnight Collector's Edition teased, Easter eggs in the Alpha announcement.
Hi everyone, I'm here with some exciting news about World of Warcraft Midnight. We're just a couple of weeks away from kicking off our alpha test and inviting members of the community in to experience the expansion and give us your feedback. But just before that, on October 1st, we want to share a video overview with all things you need to know about Midnight: systems, setting, story, and more. And right after that, we're going to have a live Q&A on Twitch and YouTube answering all your most pressing questions. We can't wait to invite you in to experience this second chapter of the World Soul Saga. See you on October 1st.
You guys said there's some Easter eggs. He looks uncomfortable sitting in a chair. Yeah, I think it's because I don't think it's his fault. I think it's the chair. So like the armrests they're like a little too wide, and it's purely because the arm is like he's like doing one of these things on his legs, and then it just looks like he's not comfortable. But that's just like probably the only way he can sit in that chair, I think.
Can't wait to invite you in to experience.
What's the Easter egg? Oh, it like shows the collector's edition box, so it has all the collector's editions here, and then it shows the like this one's gonna be purple. Sick. I've been in this room. This is the room. This is their library. The library is actually really cool. They've got a bunch of old like board games and stuff in there that you can rent out. A lot of this stuff is probably just for the set. What else in here is a Easter egg? I'm sure they go over it in the Wowhead article. On the shelf behind him, you can see a purple collector's edition. Yeah, it's midnight though, so it's like not surprising. This room also features numbers of fun Easter eggs a pair of duck slippers from Dragonflight, the Golden Ragnaros statue from the 15th anniversary, a mug with Home Sweet Home. Pepe is also a small portion of this. Yeah. All right, cool, man. Cool. Damn, that's when I'm about to go crazy on the stream. Oh, you know what's nice, too? I can do the Diablo season before that. That is extremely goated. That is extremely goated. Max, I watched your video on heals. If you guys need a friend. Yeah. That is so nice. Deep dive and dev Q&A. The Q&A stuff is majorly dominated by, like, lore questions. At least from what I've seen recently. Do you think there will be class changes and talent tree tweaks in alpha or just content? Oh, we talked about this on the podcast. I think there will be some. Like, it says there are class updates here, but I don't think there's going to be nearly as many. So we tried to do the math on this. So does anyone have the time frame from Amir Drasil launching to us getting the War Within alpha? The War Within alpha release. Let's see. Alpha testing started in spring 2024. Yeah, but like, give me like a somewhat of a, give me like a month. Give me a month. Blizzard has revealed that the alpha testing will begin sometime around coming this spring. I mean, I could look on YouTube for me, I guess. When will the War Within Alpha start? The schedule suggests that War Within Alpha can potentially launch as early as next week or week of April 9th. Okay, so it launched in April. Okay, so War Within, April, and then when is Amir Drasil? Amir Drasil was November 14th. So they had November till April, right? So is that like 5 months? That's always weird when it crosses over. So like November to December is 1, December to January is 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it 5 months. Okay, this raid is what? So release date will be October 2nd for alpha. When did this last raid come out? August 12th. So what, less than 2 months? I mean, at least for me personally, when you're talking about specifically class updates, not only from the last season to the expansion launch, but even just last season to alpha, like, I don't know what you're going to expect. Like, that's a very, very short amount of time for class developers specifically. Like, they're doing a lot of other stuff, but, like, I doubt class devs are working on, like, housing, right? Maybe you could argue that there's going to be way more class updates because Apex talents are really, like, not as... Like, look at the last few alphas, right? Dragonflight beta, Dragonflight alpha, you had talent trees. So that's, like, totally different, insane amount of work they put into that probably, and then continued to put work on it over the next, what, like 3 years? Like, I know talent trees haven't been, like, a major thing recently, but, like, they were getting constant iteration for a long time. Even kind of still now, just less so. And then they did hero talents. And hero talents, I think, were also pretty major. They were not as major as the Dragonflight trees, but they were pretty major. Apex talents, I just looking at it, I think they're, like, significantly less work than hero talents are, which is significantly less than Dragonflight talent tree. So maybe because there's less of that kind of shit going into the expansion, that means there'll be more class updates. But I wouldn't get your hopes up for, like, a crazy amount of changes, to be honest with you. Or maybe to make up for how quick the expansion was coming, they actually sacked a lot of the, like, 0.5 and 0.7 stuff of this patch as far as class updates are concerned. Like, I remember in the Amir Drasil patch, we still got, like, pretty decent class updates in the 0.5 and 0.7. But maybe they just moved off of that entirely because it's all happening so fast. So then there will be more, I don't know. Maybe class updates just equals Apex talents. No, because they, like, specifically mention Apex. I mean, this is when you get to use Apex talents. I mean, yeah, I mean, there is going to be a lot of... You're going to find... Yes, actually, the majority of these class updates probably is... Majority of what people care about probably will be the, like, figuring out what their Apex talents for their class are. Because I don't believe those are known right now. It's just, like, a couple of classes. They're... From all the bugs that are still happening, they are definitely ignoring the War Within. Yeah, and... I mean, that's not surprising, is it? Like, they are... So, if this expansion comes out in February, which is the current speculation, isn't it actually going to be an 18-month expansion? And if that's true, they've never done that before, ever. So if there's one thing that's going to change about an 18-month expansion is you better believe that the end of the previous expansion is going to get, like, hard abandoned more than ever. Because I mean, they're just trying to do something simply 6 months faster than they have been. I actually really wonder how we're going to feel that. Are we going to feel that in the bugs and stuff? Maybe a little bit, but like the incompletion, I think you'd be able to tell in like low quality content more than anything. Bugs are, bro, it's an MMO. There's always bugs, but like, I feel like you'd be able to tell if like the raids and dungeons just didn't feel complete. That would be like you're doing things too fast. There's no faded. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's just really interesting. Like from at least a dungeon and raid standpoint, if you ignore faded seasons, they were previously doing 3 major raids and 3 major dungeon seasons in 24 months. And at least as far as I could tell, if this ends up coming out in February or March, whatever, they're going to just be doing that, but just with 25% less time. Like that has to catch up to them at some point, or the thing that was like really slowing down production time in expansions was not related to those things, right? It's like that they were done with their content more than ahead of time or something. But like something has to give with that. You're just, like if you're trying to just do the same thing with 6 less months of time, like that just has to catch up to you. Max, I think low key what they're trying to use this World Soul Saga as a way to prep for what is next for the game. Can you be more specific? Like, what do you mean? Are you going to give a WoW 2 take? Is this a WoW 2 take in the making? Like, it's like, what do you mean? I do think it was smart to do the like World Soul Saga thing for a few reasons. But I think having like a story culminate over a few expansions to really cook is definitely good. Like that is certainly one of the reasons that like the original WoW shit popped off really hard. There needs to be a lot of culmination. And it was just worth the shot, if anything, because the one-off expansion stories just might have been fine at some point. Some of them were really, really good. It was just at a certain point, the game's been out for 20 years, so you have to just do something different. That's all there is to it. Max, they were able to develop Plunderstorm while also working on the War Within. So they have the capacity to prioritize now. Yeah, I guess so. God, what a rush original Plunderstorm was, bro. What a fucking time to be alive. You think we're going to move into another world? Oh, you think like Azeroth is fucking cooked. You'd have to go into some Chromie time thing to even access Azeroth anymore. We're just doing new WoW. I kind of doubt it, to be honest with you. Even though this isn't what I care about the game, I think that's one of the few things they could do that would actually kill this game. I think people are very tied to Azeroth. I mean, they've done it before with like certain expansions going into like, you know, you're just in like a different continent basically for the whole expansion and stuff like that. But like a full ass, like, we're leaving Azeroth, bro, found a new planet. I think they would, I think that they would definitely be really hesitant to do that, but who knows? What is the point of WoW 2? I think people just throw that word out and it doesn't make sense. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, it makes sense. A lot of games come out and eventually there's just another game, but also those games aren't like large subscriber model MMOs like this one. Because, like, what does that even mean? Like a graphical update? It took so long to hone what is gameplay in this game now. You're just going to get rid of it and do a new thing? I don't know. It would be an incredible cell phone, probably. Didn't Ian have an interview talking about WoW 2.0? I mean, he may have referenced it in a question. I'm sure he's received the WoW 2 question 100 times. You could also, I think WoW 2's already happened. And probably WoW 3 and WoW 4. Like, I think Dragonflight Onwards was certainly a new WoW. I think Legion Onwards is probably a new WoW. Kata, I don't think enough was different about Kata. I think you can expect faster content releases in the future, especially as coding and testing is becoming more and more automated. I mean, I think we can expect it right now. Like, based on this alpha cycle, it is looking like this next expansion is coming out at the beginning of next year. And that would just be so different. I mean, they already are putting out content faster. I really wonder what made them make that decision. Like, when they're like, the World Soul Saga, this is happening, and also, they didn't even publicly announce it, but clearly they're doing 18-month expansions. So, like, what made them be like, we can't do 2-year expansions anymore? I mean, I guess from a business case specifically, it makes sense. The majority of their money is from subs for sure, but I guess you're selling a new expansion box cost every 18 months instead of 24. That's value. But I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure expansion sales are like probably nothing in comparison to subs. But I guess it keeps subs by, I don't know. Who knows? I'm making shit up. They probably did it because the drop-off in player retention in Season 4 and Faded. Oh, so they're like, we see the biggest drop-off in subs during this time of the year, so we just need to remove that and create a new expansion, speed up. That makes sense. But then why not do that 10 years ago? The game wasn't seasonal 10 years ago? Yeah, it was. WoW's always been seasonal. The only thing is they just weren't called seasons. It's actually one of the OG seasonal games. Microsoft gap? Oh, yeah, maybe. They probably have just gotten better at doing things quicker, and the user base is less patient, at least pre-WoD drought. I mean, only time will tell if that's true. Like, if they're being more efficient. Because if they're pushing out 18-month expansions, and, I mean, it could clearly be so obvious that the game isn't ready. We'll just tell with time there. I do think there's a really interesting concept of... I've heard some people in game dev talk about it, but just talking about when you actually release a game. Like, everyone complains about games not being finished on release, but, like, every game has bugs in it when it comes out. Like, fucking all of them. Right? And basically how I've heard them describe it is, like, it takes about as much time to take a game from 95% ready to 100% ready as it does taking it from, like, 0 to 95%. So it's like, you always just... You launch the game at 95 and then you fix things after you already sell it and you move on to the next thing rather than making sure it's, like, perfect, basically. And that makes sense, business-wise. Perfect is the enemy of good. Yeah. Max, I might be remembering wrong, but didn't Blizzard acquire the dev team behind Spellbreak? That helped make the side project Plunderstorm. Maybe having an extra full dev team is kicking in. All right, I want to get that right, because I've heard that said around a lot. There's two main things I want to know. I want to know how many people are in that Spellbreak team. I want to know if they're all working on specifically retail WoW. And I also want to know how long they've already been working on it. Because I doubt this is something that they have just started doing now. Also, one thing that's interesting in, like, not even just game design, just getting large groups of people to work on something is adding a bunch of people does not directly increase efficiency, right? Like, having to learn how to, like, split up roles and actually, it's, like, really complicated how to speed up production, and the answer of just have more people is often not the right one. What are encounter warnings? That's in-game DBM. Their ex-CEO is the housing lead. Oh, so they probably just had them do housing. I mean, that's smart. Housing's fucking huge. They're basically... Oh, that makes sense. So Blizzard was like, if you're ever going to get housing, by the way, you're going to have to lose a raid tier. And we're all like, okay, well, that sounds bad. And they're like, okay, we found another way around it. We're just going to hire an entire company and make them do it. All of the Spellbreak team is Blizzard Boston, and it's 100% housing. OW. I mean, that makes sense. All right, shit, I guess there's really not that much else to talk about.